Welcome again, y'all. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm here with Chris, and as always, I'm Scott. And what are we doing different today, Chris?
We are going to take a look at an album that just came out recently. Instead of our traditional anniversary looks, our friends over at Rickshaw Billie's Burger Patrol asked us if we could take a listen to this album and give some feedback and just our thoughts. And
pretty much just play the album through here and let people listen to it.
For sure.
Yeah. Because as you guys heard, that first song is a banger. It's definitely my favorite song off this.
I really enjoyed it.
It's not really an album or EP.
It's an EP.
That's how they say it.
Four songs. Came out July
25th.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're like about
2019. So.
9 days in as we're recording, and we'll release this episode, I'm sure.
Yeah, pretty quickly. It would,
you'll know when it comes out because you'll be listening to it,
sure.
And that's how you know it's out.
Listening to that first song really reminds me of like a Queens of the Stone Age rated R sort of years, like
heavy,
those, like it's
fuzzy.
heavy, it's just grooving.
I love it.
Those notes he's hitting, the guitar, it's just crunching,
The Cincinnati Tilt.
Yes, the Cincinnati Tilt. I don't
The
know what that
song we
is.
just listened to.
Have you ever heard of that?
I think it's a dance.
Oh.
Isn't it?
Okay.
I assume that it's a dance or...
Well, I could see that because it has that driving rhythm in that song.
Yeah.
So.
And you hear him scream it right there in the chorus. Cincinnati Tilt.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking love his voice. It's so...
Yeah.
He has so many different ranges. Because he has this real, like, kind of high-pitched voice that me personally can't help but to love.
Mm-hmm.
And then he can just nail those screams at any time he wants to.
I like how playful he is with the vocals.
Really is,
sometimes,
yeah. That's a good way of putting it.
So
it's lovely. It's a really catchy song too. My favorite parts is that it's my favorite song, but I love the way the hi-hat sounds on that. It sounds like a tambourine, and it's definitely the thing. How their structure kind of works, and this is kind of how this album kind of goes in my mind, is that the cymbals sit above all the music, and then we break it down into his guitar playing, which, fun fact, 8-string guitar. So a lot of that, what you're hearing is not really bass, but it's a lot of the guitar.
The thickness is like the guitar.
The thing you hear the most in it is really like what's blowing out your eardrums, but the bass really controls it and sits underneath it. And when it moves out from it, it's really complementary.
I mean, they're a 3-piece, so they
right,
really need
the
to
structure.
Fill in that sonic field with a lot of like.
They're doing it with that power,
Yeah. It's real interesting to hear it in the mix, where like the guitar is. Not maybe the most prominent thing, because I like how things do sit. It's like things sit around the guitar, but his vocals aren't above it or below it. They're like cutting through, so you can hear. You may not be able to hear what he's saying intelligibly because of various factors, but at certain points, of course, like you could hear like he's saying.
Because it's kind of like he does have this kind of like. I don't know if it's an effect, or I think he does it by himself.
Well, there's two. They have Trevor, who is the bass player, does backing vocals, and Leo, who's the guitar player, does lead vocals.
You know what? I've seen this band enough time to know that, and we've played with them.
Yeah. But I just mean
we played
like
with them recently as Floaty Tunes.
I don't know if I can. Like, I'm trying to hear the difference, and maybe it's. I don't know if it's one person taking the lead on this song or whatnot, but it sounds like on this song.
They're blended very well. It does sound like many different voices, and even if like he's like, I know they sing together, and I don't know if the bass player takes any
maybe that like chorus
solo
is like
vocals, but
yeah,
no matter how his vocal style just is, he blends the screaming and his high pitch, like it's more like a talky kind of singy way. Like how he sings the verse, but he blends them very well where it doesn't sound like multiple singers, even if that guy. The bass player, I'm sorry.
Trevor.
Let's get the name of the bands. By the way, these bandmates, these bands.
Yeah. So
what's this band again? What are we doing?
Leo, I believe
drunk.
Leo Leiden.
Leo Leiden.
Sorry if I said that wrong. Leiden, Lydon. It's going to be lead guitar and vocals. Only guitar. And that's the, screaming 8-string you're hearing. That's,
And you reminded me that today that's what it was, and I just assumed that he was playing through
I believe
like a bass
it's an
amp.
8-string.
It's like a bass amp with a super fuzz.
7 or 8. I'm pretty sure it's an 8. Last time I remember seeing him.
Oh yeah,
I think it was an 8.
The first time you played with them.
Yeah.
I pointed that out because we were all 7-string up, and I was like, oh shit, this guy just one-upped. Just one-upped on the string.
And then you got Trevor.
It's heavy as fuck.
Dr. Goosh.
Oh, I like how they have like they have like band names. I'm like, why can't we be clever? Why are we so fucking boring?
Trevor Stanfield, Dr. Goosh. He's bass and backing vocals.
Great fucking bass player.
And he's playing a 4-string bass, complementing the 8-string guitar. I don't know if there's a little,
I really think he's like again, like I was talking about how I think their structure works. He really he has to hold down both entities. Like that wacky guitar, he has to like make that sound like actual fucking rhythm. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like he's probably the notes that you're hearing in that real fucking distorted guitar.
I think if you go
kind of pulling it, moving it around a little bit.
If you went any
the drum
lower,
sit below and above.
The drum sit below the bass?
Like the bass drum sits like at the bottom of this mix, and then his cymbals sit way above. And then in between, I'm thinking about this like it's lime green. You guys should really see this album cover because I've just been seeing lime green all day. And they have shirts of this. Like, check out their merch store for sure.
Yeah, great merch.
Oh my god, yeah. Love the fucking artist. Do we know who that artist is?
I don't know who their artist is, but they got a few things on a website, like a few T-shirt designs and sticker designs, and of course the album art itself.
So it's just really like www.rickshaw Billie. Billie is Billie.
I'll get all
not with the Y.
Have all those links at the end here.
We'll link it in the link that we'll send out this video.
Sure.
Just click the link, people.
We'll have links to support them and check out the music.
But again, back to my point.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just thinking about it like that. And then in the middle, you have pretty much where the vocals, the bass, and the guitar lives. Like, and it kind of just dances around. But everything is compacted like that, Mm-hmm. From song to song, which it sounds thick and full,
Yeah.
And they have this formula for sure. They figured it out.
I feel like if the bass player went any lower, or if he had another
it
might sound like a different.
Yeah.
It really keeps that rock and roll feel.
Because that's kind of what this that's so great about their songs, especially the song we just listened to. It sounds so fast, so driven, so quick. Like it's a rockin' song, and it's not really as complicated as you think. It's very kind of simple, straightforward. There's not a lot of complicated drums. We talked with Sean Saint Germain,
yes,
in a previous episode about how he doesn't really do a lot of fills, and what it is like fills are like to go into the next part. You don't have to get wacky metal crazy fills in any song. In prior episodes that we did on our album reviews, that like those drummers weren't like going insane, mm-hmm. like just scatting into the next fucking part with like a fucking insane triplet roll across the toms. It's just more subtle, and it just more complements the music. He places every hit to complement this crazy 8-string guitar, and this driving rhythm of the bass, because the bass is really what's probably keeping it flowing more than anything in a lot of ways. It keeps things steady. He's definitely the backbone. He's definitely,
the drums are keeping. I think what he had referenced in the interview, he's playing what is suitable to the song and what it needs at the point. He's not trying to overdo it with complicated fills.
You always say compliment yourself or compliment the song.
Yeah, and I mean, there's even parts where he takes the liberty and does some like pseudo lead stuff where the band drops out later. There's a later song where the band drops out and he takes a sort of like 3 sort of measure like drum kind of snare. It's not even a fill. It's just like a simple groove. But it's and we'll check it out. But even
I knew what you're talking about.
Things like that where it's like at that point he could have done a crazy fill or some extravagant thing.
He just keeps it grooving. He keeps your head steady.
You keep the groove. Don't worry about
overcomplicate anything.
Yeah.
That being said, in every way, he is beating the fuck out of those drums, people. Like he is. I thought I hit hard, man. This guy's on a different level. Yeah, and for him to come up and give me a compliment, to be like, dude, that was badass after one of our sets, I was like, no, all the respect is like mine. Like, it's great to have a friend like that. He's a great guy. He's the one that asked us to do this fucking album, and this fucking album, this goddamn EP, which I've been listening to for, I actually listened to it when it first came out, and this is kind of new for you since this is kind of like more of like, how do you feel the first time listening to it, Chris? You know, like coming into it, because I've listened to it quite a bit, and I fucking love it. I'm like obsessed with it, especially this song, the Cincinnati Tilt, which is just heavy as fucking balls.
Yeah, I really enjoyed specifically that song, and then I did enjoy the rest of the album. Like I said, there are points in the album that really stuck out, and just like
which we'll get into once we listen to these fucking songs.
Which should get into the next song.
Fuck yeah,
Gravedigger, which
second
song.
Kind of slow it down a little bit.
The longest song on the album, for about 4:39. So
but this one's definitely
it still has that same kind of feel and tone as far as like the guitar is in your face, and it's continuous. It's grooving. They say the lyric Gravedigger. They say it I think it is the chorus line.
I believe so.
So
if you're listening to this on
catchy,
headphones, if you're listening to this on headphones, fucking turn it up all the way. Turn it down when we start talking, because I know our voices can be kind of annoying, depending on who you are and how you feel about us. But definitely turn it up on this one, because this is one of those Black Sabbath moments, if you could describe it in any way.
Gravedigger.
Yeah,
makes me think of the monster truck.
Oh, that's probably what they wrote it after. slowest track on there, like the slowest one, but the heaviest song for sure. Then you were saying like that's that drum fill.
Yeah, there was that drum fill at the very end. He could have went off and did something, right?
No, that was.
But
clever.
no, it was like,
Yeah, I would have fucked that up. I would have been like, let me add the double bass here, and I'll sweep
It's
across the toms.
keep it nice and simple.
Keep it in the pocket, man. They always say like to be a great drummer, to be a professional drummer, you have to have a good pocket. And what that means, if you're not a drummer, is to have this certain style about you, this comfortable, like this is how you're comfortable. Like you can go in there, and like I said, this is the slowest song. Which, if you're not a musician,
I don't mind that.
I know, but if you're not a musician, it's the hardest song to play because what I said about well-placed drum beats, like as he does, he really just places it really like he was nailing it on the 4, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just kind of taking his time with it, and it's harder. It's way harder than just keeping that steady beat, that 120.
Yeah.
To cut it down to like 80, like you're really...
I think that song really needed,
it drags,
not needed
but
it,
it's fucking awesome, you know?
It made it added to the feel of the song, especially that like breakdown at the very end, that just chunky riff.
Yeah.
That like there's no vocals, it's just everybody's just kind of grooving for a little bit, and then it gets even heavier.
And that's why I said like turn up your fucking...
Yeah.
Turn it up, dude, because
Like,
the way that riff and that bass goes together.
The slowness of that, it's so easy to fuck that up.
Oh my God.
And then
It
you
really
are
is.
off, and you're throwing. I'm like sitting here headbanging, and if there's like a snare that's a little off or a kick, you kind of like you feel it. So it needs to be on, but everyone needs to be like grooving at that point. You could slip up maybe at another point of the song and get by, but
Sean again definitely showcasing this right here. This song probably showcases his drum style, and definitely the song prior, the Cincinnati Tale, definitely showcases that way that guitar works. You know, that guitar and the way this band is gonna be from here on and forever. Like good introduction to be like, this is what we do, and then every song is a little bit like that following down, and then the next song we get into is definitely
Grease Beast.
It's fucking what's the how do you say? I gotta read my notes. Album title track.
Yeah. I really heard the bass on that last song a little more than the first track, and I don't know if it's just like maybe
he was like syncopating it with it, and think about it like in this one you definitely start to tell like
I can actually hear like how the bass is like thickening in certain parts where the guitar is just filling in that like wide range of like sound from like
it's almost like a sub.
It is. It's like it fills in a lot, and so the bass just kind of like it adds another layer. It's almost like if you were triple tracking guitar or something like that. You know what I mean?
And the way the cymbals sound in that track as well. Oh my God, it's like just fucking like glass shattering, falling. Because the low end is so heavy, it's just breaking those cymbals. That's almost what it sounds like, the way he's making those cymbals sound. Which is, I believe I have some of the equipment that he used. I did text him maybe
got a little
rig
insider knowledge.
Yeah. He sent me everything in so much detail.
It's great.
Like I borrowed this drum from this person. Shout out to AJ. Shout out to Joe. I think Joe is the other guy that had the snare. Joe, I don't know if you exist, but shout out. But he was using like a 14 by 8 80s Tama snare, which is a little bit heavier in the bottom end to create that just, that it's right in the middle. It's right where you want it to be. And going a little bit lower than that, he uses his Mapex 26-inch bass drum. And that's what you said, the bass drum sounded kind of like a little flat, but it's that big bass drum sound,
the snare
if you will.
Is definitely over the kick, like as far as just like presence and punching, like coming through. And I think I don't.
It blends.
It definitely does blend. I can't recall, but I'll definitely have to. Gonna listen for it on this next tune. If particularly they're miking the top snare and the bottom snare,
this is the
know what?
the recording myth rumor. Some people do it, some people don't.
Because it's real
you
punchy.
get the blend.
And I think he's
that
maybe not
head
even doing
and
the
the top
bottom.
head.
I don't know if I hear a lot of chain. I think it's a lot of like.
It's a 14 by 8, so 8-inch deep. Think about something like mine. It's like 14 by 5. Add 3 more inches, so it's like a fucking tom.
Yeah. So it's
So
not gonna...
it is real subtle. It's not. It doesn't cut through a lot. Plus, it's a fucking you know. Either it's a superstar or an imperial star Tama. Either or, it's still a mixture of like Poblar. I don't know. No, I think there's like. So say it is maple or say it's birch. It's gonna keep a really low sound, and it's more of a subtle sound. But like something that's more like a brass snare is gonna really cut and get a lot of ring. This does not have a lot of ring. This is just a punch. Same thing with the bass drum. It sounds like a punch, and it sounds like his style. Like where, if you watch him hit the drums, it kind of sounds like kind of a loose head, you know. But it complements everything pretty well because I don't think he wants something like super high pitch. It's pretty.
Yeah, I mean that may be why, and just the overall drum mix, the cymbals are the most high frequency type thing.
Well, he got into the cymbals too, and we're just talking about like a bunch of
presence of them.
We're talking about like a bunch of like HHX, you know, Sabians. Which these are like really high end cymbals, so they have a lot of shimmer to them.
Okay, I can see that. I can hear.
It's a bunch of different cymbals. We don't have to get into it, but it's just they're all really good cymbals, but they have a lot of good shimmer, if you will. You know what I mean? They're not heavy cymbals, so to speak. They're big, like 22, you know, but
that's what I noticed.
They just have a lot of shimmer. They're not
he
heavy
also
cymbals.
plays very high. It looked like his cymbals are very. They're very high up, and then his toms were real flat.
I'm just imagining.
You know, I don't if that lend. You know,
he keeps shit pretty high up, even that floor tom.
Yeah,
I would punch that thing. But I also slouch a lot.
I want.
So
does that lend
me.
to? I mean, you being drummer, is that something that's like a stylistic choice for fills, or is that like?
No, it's about being comfortable.
Yeah,
it's about like. You have to have this height because you don't want to like I said if I don't have good posture on stage and I'm like kind of leaning over, it's because something's really low, like my floor tom, and it feels more comfortable to get down here and then keep up here because it's causing me to cramp. So even raising something an inch or two, like a floor tom or a cymbal that you've used like a ride, you know, if it's too low, it's gonna cause like your elbow to feel weird after a while. I'm really rocking on it. Or if it's too high up, it's gonna do the same thing. So you have to find a good balance to where what fits your body and the length of your arms, just so to speak.
I guess I could see like how
the stick, you know?
How high it is.
He says he holds the stick at the very end, so he uses a lot of the stick. So keeping it up, you can have his arms are as long as mine, and he's holding the very end of a stick. That's a pretty good reach. So the nail out at full power, like it's probably right here or maybe right here, depends on who you are. And that's why you want them up that high, because you'll get the full effect of the cymbal.
Yeah.
If it's down low, you won't get that same, crash.
I just see, you see,
in my experience,
you see drummers with like different setups, and like there's people with like real low stuff, but
26-inch bass drum.
Not even just placement of low. It's like some people have things real angular, where it's almost just like in the face, like they're hitting a wall almost. You know, like you're playing a wall.
That's a weird drum style too.
And then you have others where it's like completely flat. So then you're
his is more flat. His is more like your Igor Calavera, where you get on top of those toms.
Yes, you're on top of it instead of
you get more range or projection if they're sitting up and down. The more they're facing you, imagine punching something. Imagine hitting something on top. You know, how do you think the sound would come out more if I was going like this against the wall, or like up and down to where? It's physics, you know? That's what they say. You want projection out of your drums, straight up and down is where you go.
You see like big...
You bend it, you don't really get that same effect.
I mean, you see like marching bands with like big...
Yeah, but that's, again, you don't get that projection, so it doesn't cut through. So you get more of a low-end sound. Besides, you can do whatever you want in pre-production.
True.
Yeah.
I found
Heads and different. Dude, you can do whatever you want.
It's you know, you see different drummers play and you're always fascinated by like, oh, they play it this, or their setup is this way. That's really cool. It's interesting how they do that. Oh, of course. But I just mean in
case y'all didn't know.
Yeah. And then speaking on like equipment, you know, guitar player and bass player I think are using orange heads and cabs.
They're using multiple heads.
Looking like might even be using a bass cab for the guitar, and I see like a micro or one of those lunchbox sort of style oranges on the ground.
Kind of like yours, but bigger.
A little bit, yeah. It's more wattage, so it's
more power.
It seems like though last time we played too, they also had oranges, so they have that sound, that orange kind of like encapsulates, you know, a lot of stoner bands, a lot of fuzzy bands, like, and I mean, you can hear that in the sound. It's real punchy, like what Orange is kind of known for. It's like, it's all, I can hear the equipment in the sound, and it not in a bad way, in a complimentary way. So definitely, I'm curious what type of pedals he's using, and the bass player maybe. I don't hear like much wah. You know, there's not a lot of like frequency sweeping. It's more just chunky, fuzzy riffs. And
now we're gonna pay more attention when we see them next.
Yeah, yeah. What are you using?
Let's redo the episode. It's the remix episode where we know more facts about things that we didn't know before.
Revisited.
We revisited it, and we fact checked it. Yeah. All right, well, let's get into the third song, which is, I think we've been talking about this, Grease Beast. Oh yeah. Definitely, dude. Just to say a few things about that song that I wrote down. It definitely showcases the bass. If we were talking about everything else this whole time, we didn't leave the bass out of this at all. We didn't forget about you because this song really showcased where the bass is placed. And like I said, it was just very complimentary all the way around, but definitely like almost the main thing that you're expecting and want to hear again, you know? Because it's given to you here and there, and you're like,
it's
so syncopated so
catchy.
well. Yeah.
It's like it's one of the catchy parts of the song.
It really is.
It's like
yeah. It's it has the most memorable chorus on it for sure. Where like that chorus really stands out. That's something I will remember if, you know, someone yeah.
It's very catchy.
Exactly. It was like, oh, dude, I remember how that chorus goes. Exactly. Yeah. This is definitely another great song off this EP.
And like the last song, it ends with sort of a breakdown,
dude,
like chunky riff at the end.
Talk about that scream at the end of the song. Did everyone hear that scream at the end of the song? That was fucking insane. That was so fucking awesome. It really, like, that song was so groovy and just so kind of lighthearted, but like really, you could tell the drums were making a little bit of aggressive, you know, with those snare hits, and for really the vocals to just start screaming off of that kind of like da 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 da, you know, it's just like, fuck, you know, what a great way to end a song. You're gonna end a fucking song, metal, brother. That's why I say metal.
Yeah, and it went into that
rock and roll,
that just chunky groove, Sabbathy groove at the very end. And like,
it's a song that kind of sticks with you for a while.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah.
Just on some closing thoughts. You know, it's crazy that they were founded in 2016, and they got these 3 EPs already out.
Right now?
2019.
All right.
So, you know, I believe just an EP every year. Looks like so far about.
That's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Just keep pumping out stuff.
And
you know?
you can tell they're getting, you know, the songwriting is progressing, the sound's progressing, and that's just what you would expect and you would hope for like continuous the continuous process of creating material, writing it, putting it out there. They play a lot of shows.
They found a formula. They have that name to go along with it. You know, look at their fucking artwork. It all starts to add up. You listen to the way they sound. You see their T-shirts. Like, see them play live. Like, they'll get wacky. They'll get crazy. Like, it all adds up. It is all very well connected. Image-wise, sound, theme, overall, crushing it. Love to see more of them. I know they have a show coming up with Billy King, but I think one of the bigger ones, I was kind of surprised that they played. My notes is throw out of whack. It's a Monday right now. We're recording this. When we recorded this, but they play with Daikaiju and Thunder Rosa, which I thought it was pretty cool. At Skull Mechanics, of all places, around the corner. Fucking A, like down the street from here. And I always have to work. This is bullshit. But yeah, a great band to see live. I would suggest going out. Next show, I would say by the time y'all hearing this, August 17th, it's going to be at Empire Control Room with, Billy King and the Bad Bad Bad. And, you know, standard times, standard price. Let's give you guys some actual facts. Let's see what they put on here. I'm a slow reader.
They constantly are playing
$7 pre-sale. $10 at the door. Doors are at 8:30.
Not bad. How many bands?
Let's see. There's 6 bands. Amplify Heat's gonna be there too, yo. So stacked on stack. Wait. 5 bands.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3.
Well,
4, 5.
if you can't make it to that one, they play out very regularly.
They're stacked.
They're a great band to see live. We've played with them before.
Yeah,
it's fun.
And buy this fucking album, yo.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think on Bandcamp for $9 you can get their whole discography.
$9.
Yeah.
$9.
Yeah, it's the 3 EPs. I'm not quite familiar with the track list number on the other 2.
It's great. It's well produced. It fucking sounds amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's
would never call this a demo.
At least 12, 13 songs of, you know, for $9.
True, and be sure to follow them on all the social medias because we love these people and giving them a shout out. You can find them at Rickshaw Billie, and remember it's Billie, Billie, at the boys on Instagram.
Yeah,
at the boys. But you can type in Rickshaw Billie Patrol.
Yeah, look, they're all
Billie's
over
Burger
Facebook.
Patrol.
They have that Instagram.
You'll find them
They got the Bandcamp. They have a merch page out there.
on this. Yeah,
that's got killer designs as we
dude,
talked
that fucking
about.
shirt's badass.
The Acid Monster one, that was great.
Can BANGover get some free shirts? Did I get a
wanna
shirt at your next show?
Congratulate them. I saw they got a 2018-2019 Austin Music Awards number 3 Best Metal Band.
Chronicle.
That's pretty cool, you know. That's what
That's
I'm
really
saying.
fucking cool. I saw that in there, yeah.
Being
best live performance, I think. Best metal band live performance.
And then I saw their campaign, like when they were promoting that and stuff, and it just goes to show, like in the 3 years they've been around,
just work fucking hard.
They are working and like
get an idea and stick to it. Like find a good idea, find what makes you, and you can hear the originality in this. You know?
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, the self-produced all 3 of these, so they're doing something right.
Exactly.
And so,
like all the fucking great bands here in Austin.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys check out more episodes.
Episodes.
My mouth is so dry right now. I'm sipping on IPAs all day. We're fucked up. We're drunk. We recorded like 6 episodes in a row.
I'm drunk on LaCroix.
Yeah, that's bubbles, baby. But be sure to follow us on all the social media platforms. At BANGover Productions.
Facebook. YouTube, subscribe, like. You're watching it now. You're listening to it now. Keep listening to it.
Probably know how to find it.
Keep it in your feed. We got so much more coming.
Yeah, and we're working on more live shows too, and crazy, wacky ideas, a little bit different. Hopefully we can get
if you're
out
in
there.
Town,
yeah.
If you live in the Austin area, keep an eye out. We've got shows playing. We've got ideas coming. They're coming.
we just keep up. Yeah. We just keep coming out with them. Look at all these episodes we got going on. All right, well, thanks, y'all.
We're gonna end it one last song. What Johnny Boy tell me?
Oh right, we have one last song. Yeah. I just had to really pee. I was like, all right, thanks, y'all. I gotta unplug and run to the bathroom. Johnny Boy, tell them, which is the closing track, and fucking phenomenal. Listen for those rim shots, y'all. He just works that rim on that fucking verse, and then the cymbals really stand out. It makes everything explode. In my opinions, when I was listening to it,
I love
the review.
The song made me just think of. I love songs named Johnny. Johnny be good. Johnny, like, anything with a Johnny, it's gonna be a good song.
Yeah.
So
and they have the Billy in the name too. So something about Billy, Johnny Billy, Johnny Bill. Yeah. All right. Whatever. I'm rambling. All right. Thanks, y'all.
Later.
Bye.